Thanks for the good introduction. I will just go straight to the novel. So in the novel title That Reminds Me, Derek Owusu tells the story of the experience of a typical black born and bred in the United Kingdom. Although the novel is grouped into 5 categories: awareness, reflection, change, construction, and acceptance, with constant message to Anansi, the god of all knowledge of stories in African Caribbean folklore. The story narrates what it means to be a black person in a white majority society. From his subjective voice, we got to know what probably goes on inside a black young man with regards to treatment and attitudes received from others, where the society places him, and possible struggle that he has to face as consequence of these existential challenges. It's obvious that our society divides people into classes based on their income, social status, or this type of work or jobs they do, where they live, and most importantly, where they come from. But amidst this classification, Kay is found as a protagonist in the novel, is found to be a black, middle-class, poor boy with economic, social, and historical disadvantages. His life is an institution of stories that we hear from black British citizens with African or African Caribbean ancestry. His narratives about his upbringing from his mother's arm as a few months old baby to foster home and back to his family in London at the age of 11 is a story of struggle, feelings of alienation, estrangement, rejection, and attitudes that flows from prejudice and biases towards him and people that looks like him. Amidst his pain, he found consolation in the love he received from his mother, his brother, and the black community where he found so many aunties, uncles, and friends. Although this black community is depicted with its virtues and vices, it finds acceptance, love, interaction, values, friendship, and most importantly, sharing of stories. As an adolescent, he sees no future ahead of him. Unlike his mom, who finds consolation in the church, a sort of medium for cultural expression, and sometimes the novel made us to find out that the woman also found consolation in the song of Daniel, "Oh Daniel, give a little love." He couldn't get any relief from all those things. Even this mother's narrative about the angel who tells her that the world is not theirs to worry about. This is not a kind of conclusion that Kay wants to accept in the novel. He actually believed that he wants a place in the world. It's obvious that his sensitivity to the treatment he received from his foster parents, his biological parents, schoolmates, teachers, and those he categorized as whites, eventually leads to his mental decline, the decline in his mental health. It started with a kind of a visual hallucination, low self-esteem, which actually started when he saw the attitude of his friends towards their living condition. Is that punitive measure and discipline, violence experienced in the community, and the kind of violence he observed in TV towards the black people, sexual deprivation. We had instances of his masturbation and secret sex, and finally he discovered that he has a PD, that is a bipolar personality disorder, which he actually followed up with addiction to alcohol when he couldn't get good therapies. After several incidents of self-laceration, he was taken to mental health clinic, a place that he actually says to be synonymous to his foster home, his first home. If we look at the whole narrative, we have to self questions. We can go on and on, but what's the lesson we are picking from this? What do we want to pick up? And I would say the first thing has to do with tolerance. We need to provide an emotionally validating environment in which a child's emotional needs are met irrespective of their gender, race, color, or parental social status. It's obvious that he actually lost everything. He lost his mental senses. He lost everything as a result of all that he found around him. Well, his mother was able to find another outlet, but his own outlet, which is writing, by which he was able to put down his fears, frustration, sadness. But we also find out that what he needs as a character in this novel, and many other people that find themselves in his situation, is just a little love, just a little love. The second lessons that we can pick from this will be the social and economic inequality. A situation in which certain group of people feels that the world is not theirs to worry about. They know that protests, complaints, publications, or whatever they do will not change anything. The existential concerns split families. Fathers on the street hustling, mothers slaving away their lives for wages that cannot afford good and safe housing, which is a key factor to actually keeping sane. Because you look at it, BPD, you realize that in the novel, there are a lot of accounts about the living condition, and you come to realize this actually has a role to play. We also find a lesson about the disproportionality in child welfare. Let's check the pattern of whether the over or the underrepresentation of the Black and minority ethnic children. Is there any relationship? We can even ask, is there any relationship between child carer and mental health clinic carer? Is there any relationship? I think the character there, K, finds a relationship. Talking about a psychiatrist or a mental health professional, he says the therapist is a retiree, spending the last year of her life in helping others to live years. He expressed his anger towards his mother as he compared the carer home to the mental clinic. He says, why does my mom come here to visit me when it was a mental home clinic? Why does she pretend to care when this home is just a continuation of the first one she puts me in? She's used to visiting me, and wait, I want her to leave. And the fourth point there will be violence and sexing on our screen that we notice, and also violence that we see on the screen towards people that looks like we have to do something about that. They see that all the time. And the last point that I will just talk about is the lesson we can pick from the major characters in novels. K, his brother P, his girlfriend Q, and his mom. We learn how loving disposition and true sensitivity to others are virtues that makes us human. Hearing about his father's ill health, despite his condition, K made up his mind to do all that is needed to recover on time. He said to himself, I will look after him. He pulled out a half-full bottle from under his bed and started separating the pills from the wake. Our society needs to allow our shared humanity to override the grouping and classification. All we need to do, as found in the word of Daniel's song, give a little love. Show them that you care. And when they need you most, let them know you are there. Give a little love. Feed their lives with hope. All it takes is just a little love. And I want to say, just a little love. Thank you for listening.